Breaking news! It's February 27th, and Netflix has backed out of the bidding war to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery, thus clearing the path for Paramount Skydance to take over. How did this happen? Are we cooked? Will anything good ever happen again? I don't know. As my own form of coping mechanism, I need to get this video out to express some of my thoughts on how we got here in the first place. So why was Warner Bros. Up for sale anyway? Well, if you really want to go deep, we need to back up to the dawn of the 21st century. Warner's had merged with Time to become Time Warner in the 90s, and at the height of the dot-com bubble, when AOL was worth an insane amount of money, they merged, thus forming AOL Time Warner, which was heavily criticized as a disastrous media merger. But throughout the 2000s, Warner saw success between the Harry Potter films, the Dark Knight trilogy, Lord of the Rings, HBO's massive growth, and of course the cable channels like CNN, Cartoon Network, TNT, and TBS printing money during the golden age of television. That kept things going for a while, but eventually losses were cut and the company was spun off. Then in the 2010s, things started to take a turn when the movies began to not doing as great with the launch of the DC EU in the wake of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the company is again acquired by AT&T in 2017, which was, again, a horrible media merger. This led to the creation of HBO Max and the beginning of the streaming wars in the early 2020s, with Warner Media being the new corporate branding. It's a tale as old as time. Another outsider company swoops in and dares to ask the question, so what, you guys make movies here? We could do that. And it usually leads to disaster, as the movie business isn't exactly a simple product that follows a straight and narrow path to success. See also Coca-Cola buying and selling Columbia Pictures when they realized what a nightmare that was. So anyway, AT&T thought, hey, make us a Netflix. That would be great. And it doesn't go so well because it was way too expensive to scale that. So they freak out and cut their losses and spin off the company. Again, enter Discovery, run by David Zaslav. The plan was to merge with Discovery and create a new company that could, again, compete with Netflix and Disney by combining the highbrow stuff of HBO with the lowbrow stuff of HGTV. So a new company is formed, Warner Bros. Discovery. It's what dreams are made of, except AT&T saddled them with all the debt they didn't want when they spun them off, which led Zaslav to making horribly disliked decisions like deleting movies and TV shows out of existence to save costs, because the ultimate goal with this company was to one day sell to the highest bidder once they were legally allowed to do so. So finally, 2025 comes around, and Warner's is doing actually pretty great. The studio has one of the best years you could possibly hope for with a studio with mainstream hits like Minecraft and Superman, as well as more high-minded director-friendly stuff that makes noise like Sinners and One Battle After Another. And HBO is still king of television, as shows like The White Lotus and The Pit pull in huge numbers and awards acclaim. But of course, the company is still saddled with crushing amounts of debt that apparently needs to be dealt with. But I don't know, it seems like at this level money is not real, but what do I know? So Daddy Zaz is open for business. Paramount, which had just been acquired by Skydance, or more specifically, the very rich and powerful Ellison family, wants to scale the studio beyond what they have. They are willing to take on more debt and Saudi money to fund it, and it seemed like an open and shut case. But then in November, Netflix swooped in with a great deal, and it appeared at the time to be the winning bid. Netflix was going to buy the Warner Bros. TV and movie studios only, which would allow the company to spin off the cable networks into its own company to be acquired by someone else. Thus, on paper, it was a better deal and regulatory situation to clear. However, David and Larry Ellison were not going down without a fight. They wanted to buy the entire thing outright, and after months of upping the bid and taking more no's than you could possibly imagine, they finally got to a point where Warner's could not say no anymore. The money was just too good to ignore. In a stunning twist, Netflix has decided, thanks but no thanks. It's time to walk away. The company that has a better balance sheet decided that it was not worth it to go into debt over the Warner Bros. Library. They thought of Warner's as a nice to have but not a must have. They also probably did not want to go on the record and commit to the theatrical model the whole industry wanted them to do. So Paramount can buy the company and sail off into the sunset. I do find it curious that Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos went to the White House after weeks of beating the drums on the media about how their deal is the best and they are confident it's going to close. But the day they go to the White House to plead with the president, everything changes. It does feel like Ted was told that the regulators would not clear the deal no matter what, because everything is horrible. So yeah, Paramount Skydance wins for now. The EU will probably put up a fight on this one, and this will be dragged on for a while. In an ideal world, this would be an open and shut case with antitrust laws, but apparently those laws no longer exist. So we'll see at least $6 billion in redundancies as two legacy studios smash into one another, causing many people to lose their jobs, and most likely lead to less movies being made. The Ellisons haven't even proven that they could run one studio, let alone two, so I'm not confident in their ability to pull this off. Again, everything is terrible and I don't like it. Let's say this deal makes it across the finish line in 2 years. Paramount and Warner's, whatever the new company will again have an insane amount of debt and most likely need to be sold for parts again. The money isn't real. This was absolutely a power play by the Ellisons to take control of the American media landscape. I do think this puts Netflix and Universal in a better position since those are the two losing parties of this bidding war. Netflix gets a nice $2.8 billion breakup fee paid for by Paramount, so a nice injection of cash to just walk away. And Universal will be a place that filmmakers that are angry at the Ellisons will run to get their movies made. It does not make any business sense for Paramount Warners to exist in this form, and I really don't see it lasting long. Again, the studio will be spun off once again. So anyway, continue to support movies you care about, buy physical media if you can, and if you can find the means to do so, make your own indie films. Look at the success of Iron Lung and Nirvana the band to show the movie in recent months. Two complete Hollywood outsiders find success with audiences that care about them and done on their terms. There's ways to do it, you just gotta beat the system. It is a time-honored tradition for artists to sneak through interesting work under oppressive systems, and I think there's a way to keep that tradition alive. God help us all, but I don't know. It's a lot to take in all at once.